So in this video we're going to be transforming this wood airplane into a ceiling light fixture. I have no clue if I filmed anything for this yet, because this has been started many years ago, and it has come the time when we actually need to have a light in our daughter's room, more than what's already there, and this will be a nice piece on the ceiling. So things that I cannot show you anymore. Obviously I bought this thingy quite cheaply out of wood, drilled a hole through it with a wood drill right through the middle. As you can see, that didn't go as nice as I would have liked, because I wasn't smart enough to make a pilot drill and then drill the big hole from both sides. So if you do this project, drill from both sides and make sure you meet in the middle. But anyway, too late now, although also on this side it broke off a little bit, because this is quite a weak wood. But anyway, good enough. Then covered it in a few layers of clear coat, special for wood, obviously. It also gave it this really nice color. Everything is still spinning on it, so I didn't lock anything up. And then one of these smaller E14 bulb sockets. It was normally black, if I could actually open it up like that, but it's quite an old one. I think it's almost as old as me, if not even older, and simply painted it white, a few layers. And in here it had a much bigger hole, which would look really bad. I used some, I don't know how you call it, maybe JB Weld for US, or it's two-part kind, not epoxy, because it looks like molding clay or something like that when you mix it up, and put just 2 wires in there and mold it around them, and then pull them out, and we were left with a much nicer hole than the big original ugly one. Because plan is for this thing to go right in here, and it's going to be poking on the underside. So if the hole would look really bad, it would look obviously really bad. And again, quite normal. Up top, a bulb that can be replaced at any time. This project was started so long ago that this bulb is actually not even LED. It's a CCFL 7-watt bulb. But yeah, we'll keep it until it burns, and then we'll replace with a LED. And now I was thinking, how could I hang this on the ceiling? Well, realized I saw in on a channel, Leave Everything and Wonder, I saw that they were using something like this to wire their entire house on the outside of the walls. And I thought, that really looks nice. So I bought this for about $10. I think I have 3 meters or 5 meters, whatever, doesn't really matter. 3 wires, so not 2 wires, but that's perfect, because I do need 3 wires to keep this in a particular position hanging from the ceiling. So what I'm going to do, on 2 wires, which is brown and blue, I will take live with brown, neutral with blue, and ground, we don't have any ground. I will use that one just for support. This wire is strong enough to hold this. I don't need any special wires just for its weight. This has a few 100 grams maximum with the bulb and with everything on it. So this wire is more than sturdy enough to hold anything like that. I'm not worrying about it absolutely at all. On the ceiling, I will be attaching it. It's a gypsum board on the ceiling where I'm putting this. 3 of these somehow like that in a triangle, and some wire between them, because from this I will have screws. Some wire between the screws attached to each and every single one of the screws, so in case any of these fails, I still have the other 2 as backup. And from that, this will be going somehow, it's obviously this is on the ceiling, between them and come down. This will be on it. This is just some rubber, I think it was from a junction box or something like that. It was unused for me, so I took it off. And then this is for from another ceiling light that we don't have anymore. I think it was in the old apartment when we bought it, and I just kept a few parts. I will paint this white. This thing again is on the wire itself, and it's quite snug in there, and it also, this line right here fits perfectly in this hole. So if I have it poking through, I can literally push this upwards and it will stay there. So my wire will be also the support for this thing to make sure it's on the wall, on the ceiling actually, and it's hiding my mesh of wire that's actually gripping onto this to keep it on the ceiling. And from there on I will go to where I need to connect it in another light, and I have a really nice wire. If it shows up a little bit on the ceiling, it's nothing that I do not like. So at this point, yeah, let me start working. Now what I'm wondering, and I'm not yet 100% sure about, yes, obviously this needs to be painted white. Probably the wire that gets unused, the ground one, will go in the tip of this. I will drill a hole through it, put the wire in and glue it in there, inside the wood. And the ones that we are actually using, what I'm thinking, I will go to the wings, to the top of the wings. I will drill a hole, go with the wire through the hole, glue it in there when I have the correct length, and then go with the wire like this in the bottom of this. So wire somehow coming like coming like this through the hole and going up, and I will adjust the length of these wires because I can undo the, can I? Yeah, I can undo them, but they are quite tight in there. I will make sure that I adjust the length of all of them so it stays at a bit of an interesting angle or something. And I guess that should be it, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, let's do this. When working with this sort of wire, watch out because it's a little bit prone to fraying up like this. So when I removed the initial tape that the seller put on it when he cut it, it did fray up. So I put a little bit of new tape on it to keep it together while I pass it through the holes that I need this to go through. I don't want to damage it. So yeah, let me do that. Initially I wanted to put a bit of heat shrink tube to stop them from untangling by themselves at the level I want them to stop, but I don't know if I like how this looks, honestly. Maybe it looks better on camera than in reality, so I think I'm actually going just to put some super glue between them, and it will glue the fabric together. That will not be coming apart even if I wanted to, and I don't think it will be visible at all, or maybe I will test at one end somewhere just so it doesn't stain this, but I don't think it will stain it. So I tested on this piece of wire. Yes, you can see a bit of a difference right there somewhere, but it's so small it's much less visible than if I had something like this. Well, that didn't go as planned, did it? It seems it makes this kind of translucent when you put it in there. Okay-ish. I will wait for it to dry and see if this effect disappears and it becomes again whitish. It's weird, it didn't happen where I put it here, so maybe I didn't put enough to test. This isn't coming apart, that's for sure. So it will stop it from coming apart in this point, but no bueno. So obviously I cannot even cover it with something like this because it's see-through. So either I put something else in there. Yes, I could have even used something like this to make it not fray, but this in time would have gathered dust underneath it and it would have started to look bad. So I wanted to have this glued and not visible. Sadly it didn't work. What I'm going to try now, maybe I will make it even worse, I have no clue, with a bit of acrylic paint. In theory it is white, but I have no clue if it's in any way, shape or form similar to this. Oh, so got a tiny bit of the paint out in there, then took it with a tiny brush and managed to get it on the wires. You cannot really see it easily, but you can see it. But then I realized this is actually the point where this thing will be on it most likely, because I will have directly wires coming out from the ceiling like this. So doesn't even matter kind of at all. But I don't know, my brain was dumb for a moment. It's actually dumb most of the time, but now it was dumber than usual. So at this point, let me start routing my wires. I need to make sure that I don't get the ground wire, which is actually, it will not carry anything on it. This one needs to be in there, so I don't want to get it mixed with the ones that need to go through the wings. So at this point in time, let me see, can I get them in there with the scotch on them so I don't start to fray them directly upon insertion. Seems more or less kind of almost, not really, but if I start to pull on it, I think, yeah, we are doing it. Wire is going in if I'm pulling on it, so it doesn't like to be pushed in, but if you pull, it will go all the way in and it doesn't get destroyed by the wood itself. Wood is not strong enough to damage the material. And I need to get the wire, as I said, in there and do the connection. And on the other side, I keep getting the wrong one, this one. So I'll do that and get back to you. Obviously the wires that I molded this based on many years ago were not the same thickness as these ones, so I used the Dremel with this router bit on it. Video in the description for these Dremels, really handy, cordless. So hopefully now I made this hole big enough for both wires to pass through. If not, I will continue to increase it. Yeah, I need to continue to increase it, still not big enough. Damn it. Anyway, doable. It's quite interesting because these wires, being meant to be on the outside of walls, they actually have double insulation from the start on them, plus this sleeve. And I put some Kapton tape, cut them at different lengths, so brown one is about 1.5 centimeters shorter, because when I lift it I want it to be inclined just a little bit. So this one I want it a bit shorter, so it will incline like this. Hopefully it goes according to plan. Now I just need to remove the insulation, put it in here, tighten it, and then presumably put another Kapton tape on both of them and put everything back together. I hope it works. And just because I like things that make proper contact and don't get damaged when you tighten the wires, I put ferrules on them and then Kapton tape on top of everything, so these are not moving absolutely anywhere from here. One of the ferrules is stubborn and barely entering the hole, so I need to crimp it just a tiny bit more at the top. Managed to do it. If you want to do anything like this, have an electrician do this for you. And also you can find similar things to this pre-built. You can directly buy them from the store. Yeah, probably they are painted in different colors, not like this, but yeah, same thing overall. Now, what I want to mention, this thing frays extremely easily. I don't know if vintage ones, the original ones, what they were made of, I don't think they frayed this easily, because they would have gotten damaged like that. So either the one that I have frays easier than most, or all of them modern ones are like this. But the wires, did I throw them? The wires themselves underneath are freaking tough. I was barely able to cut properly through them to put the ferrules in there, so that's good. That's really good. But this exterior looks really nice, but I don't like how sturdy it is, probably. But for us, where this will hang, doesn't really matter kind of at all, because nobody's going to be touching it. So yeah, now let's pull this back, not really tight, just so they don't hang loose anywhere. Again, I think I'm going to be a bit careful not to fray it, so I'm going to help it from the underside. Okay, we are good. This is good. Nice. Rotate this into position. Perfect. Working order. Now let me find where I need to cut this, insert it in there with a bit of glue. And it's glued in there. I'm going to let it dry until tomorrow, and then put this basically more or less on the ceiling, and we should be done. And now I have everything drying in here. And what do we see there? Yes, it's a piece of that thing that I forgot to put in. So most likely my wires are not long enough now to put that back in there, because I had no clue I forgot to put it. So we are going to have a bit of fun redoing stuff. That's what happens when you are a moron and don't take care to make sure everything is on the wires. When you deal with wires where the ends are not open, as in going through holes, you cannot not pass through them anything. Isn't this nice? It basically makes a box in a box covering the contacts up. And idiot me forgot to put it in place. Damn it. And it's finally tightened, and as it should have been from the start. And don't worry, because this top is not touching the bottom. It was always like that. This is just how stuff was made sometimes. And if you are thinking about heat, these bulbs don't generate too much heat in this area. I will anyway keep an eye on it, make sure if I feel anything, I don't know, getting above 60 degrees in this area, I have a thermal camera. This is going to get modified or not used at all at the end of the day, and I will buy one it's pre-built, although I have a feeling those hit probably the same. But that's not the point. Or I will switch directly to LED, even though I wanted to use this thingy because I have it, I bought it, so why not? But if I feel that it's heating up more than I like, maybe switch directly to LED. But anyway, I will keep an eye on it. And that room will also have a smoke detector, which is linked with the phone and with all the other smoke detectors in the house. So yeah, I'm not taking any chances and I'm not playing, don't worry. Finally, it can sit and the glue can dry. And I screwed up because I totally forgot I need to pass this wire under this, because the wire isn't coming directly from the ceiling, it's coming from the light fixture next to it. So now I need to grind into this, and it's fairly hard, much harder than I expected for sure, and also I need to try and not damage the fresh paint. And with the aid of a few files, I managed to do it. Yes, I don't have paint anymore in there, so I need to put some. This is actually really good paint. It did not get damaged by me holding it in the hand quite strongly, and it's only 1 day old. I kept it over something that was at about 40 degrees, so in theory it did cook for a little bit, but anyway, you can see it's properly touching with the edges and not staying on the cable itself, so that's freaking perfect for me. This is the light fixture that I plan on getting power from. Its video will be linked in the description. Initially I was 100% it has enough light, but it's there's good light, but just a tiny bit more would help. And I had this plane started, so these are the anchors in the drywall, gypsum board, whatever. If these are falling from here, we've got bigger issues. This house is probably not standing anymore. So I will just put some wire on all of them and have our cable go through here. I put a grommet in here, modified this to have a hole in it. And our wire will be coming through here, entering here, and then going down to the plane. And we have a rat's nest of wires, even put a bit of insulator in here. But again, these are meant to be on the outside. They do not freaking care what touches them. And I did not tighten the wires that much that it actually damages them in any way, but just to be sure. And the rat's nest has the purpose of making sure that if any of those fails, the others can still hold it. I think even one of them could hold it without any issue. But yeah, I just wanted to be sure. And I put two materials, because copper, if you bend it too much, it can break. So I decided to also put a bit of steel in there. So yeah, but steel was a bit harder to bend. Anyway, now let me lift this into position and hopefully cover that rat's nest. And this worked perfectly. Rat's nest is covered perfectly all around. This thing is hanging. You can see it's not even heavy enough to straighten properly the wires, so nothing will happen to them. This is in here. Now I just need to cut them, splice them into the original light, put the original light back in, and yeah. And this is also done, so they are in parallel. The LED light with this, which might become LED at some point. The unused wire is insulated and pushed into the ceiling, so it doesn't do anything in there, has nothing to short with or to create problems. And these things in ferrules tightened. Now I just need to take this up and put it in there and close everything. And it's back together, no ugly wires anywhere, apart from the ones that are actually nice and are supposed to be on the outside. Let me put the cover back and start this. And let's see what happens when we turn on the light. The LED one I can adjust by turning on and off the light. I can adjust the type of light and light output. This is its maximum, and the CCFL is the old type that takes a bit to warm up and come to maximum. But yes, you can now see it in on the ceiling. It's a warmer white and it's adding, so that's exactly what we needed. Just a tiny bit more light and a cool and nice homemade light fixture. And again, I will watch it and see how hot it gets, but I'm going to show you next that this is not an unusual design, and you can buy these things 99% like I made this. So yeah, great. And it's been running for a few hours, so let's take a look at the temperature. Maximum is... how much is it? Camera somehow show me 68 or something like that on the top of the bulb, but at the bottom when it's entering the wood itself, it's way freaking less. It's the middle, about 30 degrees, 34, 35, and only going up it gets hotter. So yes, where we are actually touching the wood, this is barely more than room temperature, which is actually great. The bulb itself at the top, yes, it's hot, but that's not touching the wood at all. And anyway, it's not a dangerous temperature. So yeah, happy with the situation. This thing is doing great. So, hope this video helps you and you've enjoyed doing this weird project with me. Can I do it somehow to show you the bulb at the same time as this? One way or another, hopefully. Yeah, if you enjoyed it, give it a like, check out my other videos, and as always, see you in the next one. Bye.